Hello, my name is Ssenkaayi. Welcome yet to another class of our inspirations. This is class 8. If you missed previous classes, subscribe on our YouTube channel, Ssenkaayi, so that you can get all the classes and you don't miss out on the wisdom that can transform your life. Today, I want us to reflect on how to build a pipeline. If you've read the book, The Parable of the Pipeline, I want you to have a moment and reflect and ask yourself various questions as we continue to study. My first question is, in your work, in whatever you're doing, are you building a pipeline or you're carrying a bucket? Two guys were there, Bruno and Pablo. They were asked to carry or fetch water for their community. It was hard, and because the water source was far from the community, and they were given buckets to carry the water from the source to the community. Whenever you brought your 2 buckets to the community, you could get a lot of money. Now, after a day, a guy asked a friend that the buckets were too heavy and their hands were all swelling, and they asked themselves, can we build a pipeline? The other guy didn't listen and didn't even focus. So a pipeline, this guy started digging a pipeline of a water source, from a water source to the community. It took a lot of months and a lot of energy and effort to dig a pipeline. But after months, the pipeline reached the community. When it reached the community didn't want bucket carriers anymore, because the other guy could wake up late, simply had children that could work on the pipeline and they collect money. Now, this is the question. A pipeline takes time. It's time consuming. A pipeline is tiresome. A pipeline doesn't earn you in a day. But we're going to see the difference. When you carry a bucket, you earn. Every bucket that you bring, you earn. Instantly. But a time comes, or a time shall come, when you cannot carry a bucket. Meaning, if you don't carry a bucket, you won't eat. Your people won't eat. Your people won't survive. But someone who builds a pipeline, who built a pipeline, it might take them a long time, but when it gets to the community, even when they are sleeping, they will be earning. Man, I want you to ask yourself, at your job, the job that you have, are you carrying a bucket or you're building a pipeline? Let me tell you. If you're carrying a bucket, it is not bad, because the job prepares you for your work. Ask yourself, what is your work? What is your work? So use the resources of your job to facilitate your work. Your work is the pipeline. Your bucket is the job. What is the difference? A job is something you're paid to do, but work is something you're born to do. Now, use your job to build your work, so that when you lose the job, your work can sustain you. This is the tragedy of the 21st century. So many corporates are seated in offices, huge offices that look good, and they are so proud and happy because they are getting some money. That is a bucket. The day you don't carry the bucket, you won't eat. It is time for you to begin working on your work, building your pipeline. Your work is something you're born to do. Find it, build it, strengthen it, so that you can use your job to build it and facilitate it. And by the time you cannot carry a bucket anymore, your pipeline will sustain you. I leave you the question, in whatever you're doing, are you carrying a bucket or you're building a pipeline? My message to you is, build yourself a pipeline, because if it's not today or tomorrow, next week, if it's not next week, next month, if it is not next month, then next year, you might lose that bucket and someone else carries it. And the bad thing about carrying a bucket, every time you look for a bigger bucket, a bigger bucket, a bigger bucket, thinking that the more you get a bigger bucket, it will quench your thirst for your needs. No. the more you carry a bigger bucket, the more weight that sits on you. So this is the race, the rat race of so many of us, thinking that when you leave this job and you get a better job, your life will change. No. Every change in life comes with equal challenges in it. It is better to learn how to live on your work than having a lot of confidence on your job. I'm not saying lose your job. I'm saying use your job to facilitate your work, because your work is your pipeline.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Simon Ssenkaayi, or you can find us on Facebook, Simon Ssenkaayi, Get Inspired with Simon Ssenkaayi, and Simon Ssenkaayi Foundation. Or you can call us on 0757 237943.